Hello, everybody, and welcome tonight here to South Boston Speedway, where we're here to crown a champion in this super late model series, finally here in the Thunderstruck Super Series. Welcome here to the Thunderstruck Championship 125, 125 laps here tonight around this very, very tiny track. My name is Zach Wetstein. I'm here tonight with Jeff Paisley, as always. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
Hey, I'm doing great. Looking forward to some South Boston racing. Pretty exciting place to be. Very tight, very slippery. So this ought to be something to see.
Yeah, it's going to be an entertaining race, to say the least, if you watched last night. This track is very difficult, and those cars last night, the modified cars, had a lot more grip than these cars here tonight will have. So that is definitely going to be something these drivers are going to be battling here tonight in these super late model cars. Track temperature is one thing they're not really going to have to battle. It's 74 degrees nighttime, and you see the length of that track. Very, very, very small, and these turns are very tight, so you got to be careful. When you kind of dive into them, you don't want to dive too hard into the turn. It'll get you pretty tight. So looking forward to seeing how these drivers handle getting into the turns here tonight. We're going to take a quick look, actually, once I get it up. Donald Clark, your points leader, coming into tonight, and I'm not fully sure if he has it locked up. I imagine he does, but I'm going to take a second look before I say anything's for certain.
Yeah, I can't imagine he doesn't. Can you share your screen with me?
Oh, yeah. All right, let me take a quick look here. Donald Clark has a 39-point lead into this race here tonight. So, yeah, he has this thing nice and locked up. All he has to do is worry about getting that 8th win of the season here tonight at South Boston. We saw it last night with the champion of the modified series, with Ryan Bean. You know, he won 7 races during the season, was going for his 8th, but he got stuck in traffic a lot. And even with a fast car like him, being stuck in traffic at a racetrack like this can really kind of halt you from winning a race, no matter how fast your car is. So tonight, Donald Clark not going to have to worry about that, at least to start the race, as he grabs the pole spot, and that'll lead us into your grid here. Donald Clark, like I mentioned, a 14.801 gets him that pole spot. So not only looks to win the championship here tonight, but win the last race of the season and make it 8. Kieran Church on his outside, going to be starting this one in 2nd. Jason Warren starting in 3rd, with Stephen Burnett on his outside in 4th. Rich Petruso starting this one in 5th, with Joshua Sexton starting in the 6th position. David Locke Jr. in the 7th spot, with on his outside Frank Barbary starting this one in 8th. Josh Oswald starting in 9th in that 17 car, with William Griffith in the 12 on his outside starting in 10th. Rusty Modesty in the 11th position, with Tyler Johnson in 12th. P13 goes to Michael Swink, with Elliott Longenecker in 14th. Aaron Ward is 15th, and I believe Keith Lichtenwater race controls these. And so, yeah, Aaron Ward will round out your field. Right now, William Griffith, Michael Swink, and Elliott Longenecker are currently not gridded up. We'll see if they do. They have about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's kind of too bad that Ryan Bean didn't make this race, because he's something to see when he's in these cars, as well as the modifieds. I got a chance to race with him last night, and man, he is fast, and that's why he's the champ.
Yeah, Donald Clark, I mean, a part of 09 Race Shops, just absolutely dominates some of these races. And it's not always domination. I'll give it to the other guys. There are drivers that definitely at least make him work for it. But in the end, 7 wins on the season. Ryan Bean is the closest, I believe, with 2. So, yeah, nobody been able to really stop him this season. And, well, nobody's going to be able to stop him from winning the championship no matter what, even if they wreck him here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he could just pull down in the pits right now, and he won't lose enough points to lose that position as the champion.
And a little change of paint scheme this week.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was looking for the fiery black and red car, and he's got a different paint job this week.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Kieran Church up there in 2nd. Jason Warren and Donald Clark, for multiple different reasons, we haven't been able to see these two race each other much this season, even though we've raced 11 different racetracks, but we have not been able to see that 18 and that 32 machine battle it out too often. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. Not to take away from anybody else, but we know what kind of speed these two have. But Kieran Church, he qualified ahead of Jason tonight, so he obviously has some speed for him. As the pace car is off, the green flag is out here at South Boston Speedway for the last race of the Thunderstruck Super Series late models. As
off to the races.
Yep, Donald Clark is able to keep the lead, and Kieran Church had a little bit of a slip up, and that's going to give Jason Warren that second spot.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to dive in a little bit hard, and he tried to keep off the bumper of Donald Clark, and he ended up getting pushed up the track a bit.
And he is following all the way back, and actually Joshua Sexton just gave up the inside, but it doesn't cost him. Kieran Church already back to the 6th position, and he started this one in second, not just 3 laps ago.
It's so easy when you get off of rhythm here that you start falling back really quick, and it's hard to get it back once you're down there too.
Oh, 3 wide behind him.
Oh, that's not going to work.
I don't know if that can last.
Woo! Oh, that was close.
That was Josh Oswald, Frank Barbary in the 29 there, and then David Locke Jr. in the 82. But David Locke Jr., I guess, was, I don't want to say the most responsible one of them, but he was the one who said, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I think he backed out of it when he realized that they were 3 wide, because he did drop back a little bit.
Man, I was for sure. It was in the middle of the turn when they went 3 wide, too, so I was for sure they were going to wreck, but they did not. And,
me too.
6 laps in, Donald Clark still has the lead. Jason Warren second. I mean, I just talked about how we finally get to see these two battle it out once again. We've seen it a couple times, but not enough. And, well, they're already 1-2.
Yeah, Jason's no slouch. He'll be up there. It looks like he's holding steady there. He's about a half second behind right at the moment, and we'll kind of see. He's keeping pace. He might be catching him just a little bit, but it's a long race, so although it will go real quick if they stay green.
Yeah, that's one thing about a track like this is it can produce a lot of cautions, but if you find a way to stay green, laps will go by very quickly, and we're already almost a lap 10, and we just started a couple minutes ago. So they're ticking off 15-second laps right now, or at least the fastest cars. Yeah, all cars right now on track. It's variations of 15-second laps, but they're all running 15-second markers. And, well, Kieran Church, he fell all the way back to 6th, but he took fifth back away, and, well, he's now sitting inside the top 5 right now in that 5th position.
Yeah, it's hard to stay up with these guys. I mean, they just have their setups done super good, and it's hard to fathom the kind of time that they must invest in being able to put together the best setups every single week.
Let's go a little bit of an early onboard here with Donald Clark just to see how the wheelman himself does it around here. And you see, really, the wheel is to the right until he actually gets into the turn.
Yeah, I know. I was slipping and sliding in the modified, and these things were a whole lot more loose when you're driving them. It does get a little bit better after a few laps, but, I mean, that car just looks super stable.
And it's amazing the line you have to run around here. You want to run right on that yellow line, but if you go below it, I have to believe that's going to cost you. If you touch that light gray below that yellow line, I have to think it's going to get you looser than you want to be.
Oh, yeah. You can use it to help you turn in the corner if your car's really tight. You know, I see guys doing that. I did that last night as well. But if you're not careful, you'll spin yourself out pretty easy.
It looks like these 09 guys have it set up so they don't have to crank that wheel too much to the left, and they are able to save those right side tires maybe a little bit more than other people. Let's go a little bit through the field and go to a person that isn't 09. Let's see how much that wheel. I mean, you look at Joshua Sexton here. I mean, he cranks the wheel to the right on entry, maybe just because it's loose. But you see down the straight, it's not as much to the right. And so it looks like these 09 guys have it so that they maybe have to turn the wheel to the left less in the turns, and that might save their not only their right front but their right rear tire.
Yeah, it's a bit different of a driving style when if they've got their steering down like a 1/8 or so. Because I know I tend to hook the car when I have those so low, but where you're not turning it quite as much. I tend to oversteer a little bit. So, I mean, props to them that they can make that work, and it does save the car quite a bit.
You're also seeing this track. I mean, it's bumpy in those turns. I didn't pay too much attention to it yesterday, but I don't know how it feels in the car, but there are definitely some bumps in both sets of turns.
I think these cars might feel it a little bit more than the modifieds.
You see, let's take a look at this view, just how close or on the yellow line these left side tires are. And it looks like to be fast, you're going to have to ride that edge.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, these guys are cooking it. They're getting ready to come up on lapped cars. We'll see if they fight them at all. But that'll probably slow Donald Clark down a little bit and see if that'll allow Jason to catch up a little bit more.
We are already 23 laps into this race, and we have been green since the start. So far, your top 5, Donald Clark, Jason Warren, Joshua Sexton, Rick Petruso, and Kieran Church, and that hasn't changed here for a while. We did just see Josh Oswald. Yep, I saw it on the timing screen. We got Josh Oswald and Tyler Johnson still battling it out for the 7th position right now. And yesterday, I'll take it back to yesterday one more time, we saw Garrett Kinder. He was actually battling Josh Oswald. We saw him make the outside work for, 5 to 10 laps. It didn't last past that, but we did see him use that outside line to at least hold Josh down to the bottom. It might not be as easy in these super late model cars.
No, I'm still not quite sure how he did that. There was a couple of guys that made it work for a few laps, and then they started to drop back up there a little bit. But if they could get that pass done and then drop down in between cars, it really worked out well for him. I know that I don't know if they had fresher tires or what at the moment, but I know I had a few guys pass me up top, and then after that, then I could be able to get back by him a little bit later. So I do think that it actually helps them to get by, but they use their tires up more. Although it didn't hurt Kinder as bad.
And I'm not sure if Oswald's car is maybe built for the longer run or maybe the short run, but we're not really seeing the usual speed we see out of that car. And, that's a compliment. He's running 8th right now, which is never a small feat to run in the top 10, but that car is usually at least inside that top 5.
Well, if you've got somebody clogging up the bottom, it is almost impossible to pass here. You've got to really prep that run, maybe take it a little wide as you're going through the corner and then dive down below as they wash up a little bit coming off. But that was the best way I found to be able to pass. But if they were blocking or, keeping it low, it was almost impossible to get by them.
Also, I thought I would just real quick, sorry about that. Thought I'd real quick, I don't know if he's watching here tonight, but I imagine eventually he'll watch. But Magic Mike Uribe not able to join us tonight or yesterday, having some health issues. So sending best wishes out to you, buddy, if you're watching. I won't say any further than that, just because it's not my place to. But sending prayers and best wishes out to you to get better, buddy.
But yeah, Mike, I didn't even know that you weren't feeling good, man. Sorry to hear that. I hope you get better real quick.
And they're putting on a good show for Magic. Magic Mike Motorsports. While we're on the topic, big shout out to Mike and Magic Mike Motorsports for sponsoring this series. After 3 or 4 weeks, we were kind of the nicest way possible for me to say it. We were left without a sponsor, and Mike quickly stepped in and sponsored the series for broadcasts and hosting fees and all of that, and he did it without even thinking about it. So even bigger of a shout out to Mike, such a nice guy. And just since it's the last race of the season, one big last shout out to Magic Mike Motorsports for sponsoring. And I was gonna say, these guys so far 36 laps in are putting on a good show for Mike.
He's definitely one of my favorite people that I've met since joining up with the Rebels Racing, and definitely enjoy talking to him, friends with him on Facebook and whatnot. So I'll be looking forward to seeing him soon.
Yeah, this series and broadcast you kind of left up in the air for maybe a little bit before he swooped in. So, 38 laps in so far right now. Donald Clark, your leader, and about 8/10 ahead of Jason Warren. Or 6/10, sorry. You see those two. They are not running. Donald Clark is not running away from Warren. Warren is not falling back, and they're currently 3.5 seconds ahead of Joshua Sexton here in the 51, sitting in third. And Kieran Church just made a pass over Rich Petruso for the 4th position.
I wonder if Kiernan's car is a better long-run car, and he was just having some issues early on. I know when he got a little out of shape, I was thinking he might have been close to hitting the back end of Donald Clark. That might have set him back a little bit, and now he's going to start making a charge back towards the front.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we stay green. We're down to 83 laps to go now, and this just really shows. I mean, we're 42 laps into this race, and we did not start that long ago. So when laps tick by under green here, they go by quickly, and that's one thing I'm interested. We still have a good amount of race left to go. So Kieran Church currently 5.5 seconds back. That might be too big of a gap to try to beat, but we'll see what kind of speed he has for him. He's now going to pass for third.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom that these guys have gone already on this particular track almost 45 laps without a caution, but they are all just doing a fantastic job. It's going to be hard to believe if they make it the whole way without a caution. But that'll catch them right up if we get one.
Yeah, this is the biggest danger spot for cautions, right? When you're racing side by side and neither guy is giving an inch and you're both not giving up that position, well, that can, one guy accidentally dives into the turn too deep and boom, you got a caution. So got to be very careful in these instances not to be too aggressive.
Yeah, Josh is doing good in that MF Designs butt kicker car, holding it up on that top side. It's pretty great to see that he can be able to make a second lane work.
Yeah, and you earlier talked about how hard it is to pass here. Not only is it, it's showing right here how much of a hard time Kieran Church is having trying to pass Joshua Sexton, but right now Rich in that 27 car is just stuck behind these two as they race side by side. And, well, Joshua Sexton, as I said it, slips up, and that opens the door for that 27 car.
Yeah, I ran up there a little bit last night, and it was hard to hold it for more than a couple of laps because you'll start pushing a little bit, and then you're a little looser coming off the turn as well. So after a while, I just kind of gave up on that one. It didn't work for me. Kinder made it work the best last night.
Yeah, that was insane. So unfortunately for Joshua Sexton, he's going to lose 2 spots while battling there. Kieran Church up to third and Rich Petruso up to fourth. We currently are down to now our top 10 on the lead lap. We only had 12 drivers here tonight, so only 2 cars a lap down currently, but that will change if we keep going here under green flag. As let's go back to our leaders real quick. Now a second gap between Donald Clark and Jason Warren. So Donald Clark's car just looks a little bit better, not a whole lot better, because he is pulling away very slowly, but it is at least a little bit better than that 32 machine right now. And also you have to think about maybe it just has to do with lap traffic and when you catch it.
Yeah, because, if you catch it in the middle of the corner when they're up high, that's fine. But then the second car that's coming around, if he's hitting them towards the corner, coming out of the corner, he can't use his normal line and has to kind of let off a little bit more to go underneath them.
We talked about sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it can work both ways, but it seems like Donald Clark has just been able to manage the traffic a little bit better.
We talked about our points leader here, Donald Clark in the 18. Let's move down the list a little bit. We got Joshua Sexton. We were just talking about him. He's in that 51 car. He's currently sitting second in points and about 23 points ahead of Josh Oswald, so he basically has that second spot in the points locked up. Josh Oswald, who's in third in points, 8th right now on track, is, like I said, in third in points. He is 14 ahead of Ryan Bean, who did not show up tonight, so I'd say he has that third and final podium spot in points locked up here tonight. And, right behind Josh Oswald, looking to make a pass on him, is Rusty Modesty. It does not look like he'll be able to make up, even with Ryan Bean being out. It looks like Ryan will lock up that 4th spot, but Rusty Modesty looking to lock up that 5th spot in points. And he's currently 4 points ahead of Scotty Stevens, who oddly we did not see show up tonight. So looking good for a lot of our top 5 in points.
Yeah, I know Josh Sexton, he's running fifth right now, but if we do get a caution, I'd be interested in seeing what goes on with pit stops and getting new tires and that kind of thing, because he won last year's race here. So he's no slouch when it comes to this racetrack. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if we do end up getting a caution. Will the leaders stay out? Do they have enough fuel? If they set these things up with their fuel levels a little bit lower, thinking there was going to be a bunch of cautions, will they have to pit?
I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to leave that topic. I'll go back to in a second. I just had looked at the timing screen. We could see up to the top 5 a lap down by the end of this race if we go green the next 65 laps. That is just insane, and that's how a track like this works. When you have a dominant leader and you don't see a yellow, I mean, the top 5 could go a lap down, even up to the top 3. Right now, Kieran Church, 7.5 seconds back. We're running about 15.5-second laps. So he's still 8 seconds ahead of our leader. So we'll see if 60 laps is enough for him to stay on the lead lap. But Joshua Sexton, who will go to, just made a pass on Rick Petruso for 4th. So he's moving back forward a little bit more. He and Rich are 9 seconds behind our leaders right now. So 6 seconds ahead of them. And so we'll see if 6 seconds is achievable by our leader Donald Clark to make up in about 60 laps. But we could see a lot of our top 10 a lap down by the end of this.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to see that it's only going to be the top 5 on the lead lap here pretty soon. I mean, yeah, Burnett is 10.5 seconds behind, and Tyler Johnson is 12.1 seconds behind. So, I mean, I don't think those two are long for the world on that lead lap if this stays green.
Yeah, and Josh Oswald in 8th. We just looked at him. He's a lap down. He's the first car lap down right now. If a caution, well, actually, Rusty Modesty just made a pass. So Rusty Modesty is the first car lap down now. But if Donald Clark keeps lapping people, that'll change for who's the first car lap down.
Yeah, I am curious about whether or not they gave the playroom for cautions on their gas, and if they did, are they going to even make it? So that I think that is going to be a story in and of itself if they didn't give themselves enough gas.
Yeah, I know everybody last night was good on fuel to make it all the way. We'll see if anybody took a chance at us having cautions here tonight, which, I mean, you'd have to not even assume, like you're guaranteeing yourself you're going to see a caution at a track like this. And obviously the race isn't over until lap 125 is completed, so caution still can come out. There's a while left in this race, but at this point it doesn't look like one's coming out. And like I said, before the race, you kind of guarantee yourself at a track like this and how tough it is, a caution will come out. And honestly, if a caution doesn't and you run out of fuel, you just kind of tip your hat. I don't even know if you could be mad at that, because it's tough to go 125 straight green flag laps at a track like this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely gave myself enough fuel last night just in case, because every time that I plan for it to be a different way, it runs different. So I gave myself enough gas, but I had a ton of gas because of the way that we had the cautions last night. But with absolutely no cautions, I would have probably been about 10 laps, 15 laps to the good. If I would have went down, I might have been 10 laps under if we went green, without a caution. So if we would have got 10 laps worth of caution, I would have been fine. And I should have probably went that way myself. But did they do that? That's the question for these guys tonight. Did they do that lower setting to where they needed about 10 laps of caution to be able to make it all the way? I'm going to be interested to see who did. I'd bet some of these guys that are a little farther back, they probably are going to be a little bit slower off the long run because they did put more fuel. Let's see about these leaders, though.
I'm going to give you a little bit of credit here. Actually, a lot of credit. Joshua Sexton, you said be interesting to see how his car is. And, well, he made a pass back for 4th, and he's right back to the back bumper of Kieran Church. He fell back a couple of seconds, I believe, from him. So he's coming right back for that top 3.
He's got a long way to go to get to that leader with no cautions, but, I mean, he's got some speed for sure. Him and Kieran Church are both staying in that 8-second range. Tyler Johnson's been able to still hold on, but you got Burnett, Petrucco and Johnson that are all still in that 12-second range now. So I can't imagine that Donald Clark's too far behind them.
Yeah, you mentioned Stephen Burnett, Rich Petrucco, and Tyler Johnson. This is a line of 3 cars right here, battling all for 5th, 6th, and 7th.
And what's sad is that Tyler Johnson may be the fastest of the 3, but can't do anything about it because they're just on the bottom. They're blocking where he can go.
Donald Clark now a 4.5-second lead over Jason Warren. So as we're now to lap 80, I mean, that's just, I kind of just caught myself off guard a little bit that we're already on lap 80. But we're on lap 80, and his car is obviously the best car out there. And I say that, but he's also maybe just the best driver out there, because we do have him and a couple of other drivers on the same setup, or at least a setup a lot alike. And so I want to give credit to the setup that he has, but also just the driver. I mean, he is driving the wheels off of those cars right now, and we're to lap 82, so these tires are getting old. They already are old.
Oh yeah, because you know that some of these guys have the same exact setups as their teammates, and yet there's some guys that are just better in the long run with the way that they drive their car a little bit better. Donald Clark is just a superior driver this season. You can say it's all set up, and part of it is, but you've got to be able to drive it, plain and simple. And
yep.
He definitely knows what he's doing. I have been really impressed with how he's raced all season long.
And honestly, I said the tires are really old, and I mean, obviously they are, but we're not even a second fall off right now on these tires. Donald Clark's best lap is a 14.98, and he ran a 15.59. So we're not even at the 1 second mark for fall off. So maybe not too big of a fall off, but there still is a fall off enough to where if you're going to be better on old tires than other people, it's going to show.
Yeah, definitely. And how you drive it can make a difference on how the tire wear is and all that. So, I mean, if these guys are only a second off of where they were, they're all really doing pretty good after doing 86 laps.
Man, if this was real life, that left front tire would be cutting down already. It's morphing into that left front fender. And you're seeing more lap traffic. That is going to be, that's that battle that we saw with Rich Petrucco and Tyler Johnson. That's the 7th position right there with the 27 of Rich Petrucco. And he puts him a lap down. Next to be put a lap down is Tyler Johnson. He's about to go a lap down, but let's give him some love. He's up 6 spots since the start of this race. And when we have cautions at the beginning of races, middle races, it doesn't matter when. Caution is because of a wreck, and you might see some guys gain a lot of positions due to that. But Tyler Johnson, all 6 spots gained is purely on green flag laps. So got to give him some credit tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's wheeling that car great. He's wheeled it up to 6th place in his MF Designs butt kicker McConey setup shop car. Got a lot of sponsors on that particular one.
And unfortunately for him, it's just we have a really fast leader, and he's the next to be put a lap down.
Yeah, but he's kind of moved away from there. I'm wondering if Donald Clark has had a little bit of an issue getting through some of these guys, because they were racing pretty hard for a while.
There's Donald Clark in the 18 with the 5 car ahead of him. You see they're both on the same straight as of now. And we are almost to lap 100, lap 94 right now. Donald
this
Clark,
race is just flown by.
5.8 seconds ahead of Jason Warren now. And really consistent laps across the board that last lap around. A 15.5 for Donald Clark, our leader. The slowest time compared to him was a 16.2. But other than one other driver who ran a 16 as well, everybody from 10th on to 1st was in the 15 seconds on lap time. So a lot of consistency on lap times here tonight, as I mean, you look at it, and these guys are only a couple tenths off of our leader, even, you know, all the way back to 10th.
Yeah, I mean, they're all running relatively quick, but when it comes down to it, 98 laps of green flag racing, when they're pulling away a tenth of a second or so each lap, that's where this starts building up.
Yeah. And we're seeing that with Jason Warren, who also might be struggling no lap traffic. So that proved me wrong, but he's now 6.5 seconds back. So that's proven right now just the pace that Donald Clark has right now. And, I mean, man, if you were going to script up a race for our champion, Donald Clark, who's won 7 races this season, and obviously the race is not over yet. We're not to lap 125 yet, but if you were to script a race where you had him winning with no cautions and winning the championship, I mean, I would say that's a good story, but it's not going to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. I'll step back. It hasn't happened yet, but we're close.
I'll tell you, I thought he was going to get slowed down there because Tyler Johnson and Stephen Burnett were side by side for a little bit, but he's actually still pulled away from Jason Warren a little bit, even when he was having to watch out for those guys. So Jason must be getting held up, or was getting held up at that point as well.
Hey, and look out real quick. Joshua Sexton, we talked about his speed, how he passed Kieran Church back up for 3rd. He's only at 1.7 seconds back from Jason Warren. So we have 24 laps. That's more than enough time. And you see Jason Warren up there actually stuck behind Josh Oswald, a lap car. Joshua Sexton can go up there easily and take that 2nd position if he keeps this consistency up.
Definitely. I mean, he's definitely got speed. He seems to be one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car at the moment, because he's actually pulled up from where he was even on Donald Clark's time. So hopefully we'll see him be able to get up there and fight Jason Warren. Maybe Jason's used his stuff up when he was trying to keep up with Donald Clark for a while. We'll have to see how that plays out here at the end.
Kieran Church, like I said, did get passed for 3rd, but he's still in 4th, maintaining that spot 4 seconds ahead of Tyler Johnson, who sits in that 5th position right now. It's your top 5 behind Joshua Sexton, Jason Warren, and Donald Clark.
Yeah, I'm not thinking. Oh, there goes Tyler Johnson moving up the track to let Donald Clark go by.
Well, that's I said maybe your top. You said your top 5 might be the only ones left on the lead lap by the end of this one. Well, our top 5, Tyler Johnson in 5th, goes a lap down.
Yeah, and then you got Kieran Church, which is falling back to 11 seconds behind. So I mean, we could only see the top 3, the podium guys on the lead lap.
That would be something. I'm keeping an eye on this battle, though. It's not a battle yet, but only a 2nd gap between these two. We'll see if Jason Warren was maybe stuck behind lap traffic. He has a chance now with some clean air in front of him to try to build a gap back over Joshua Sexton, but it's now under a 2nd. We'll see this if Joshua Sexton can get to him. It's going to be a fun battle to watch, but we do only have 17 laps left.
Yeah, Sexton's down to 8.0 seconds now, so behind the leader. So he is even catching the leader. There's not enough time for him to even get close to him, but he can definitely get 2nd from Jason Warren. He needs to give himself some time once he gets there, though, so he needs to get there really quick.
Yeah, and I mean, don't even have to look at the timing screen. You can see visually he's gaining in on that car. It's just, does he have enough time with 15-second laps? But it seems like every time we dive into the turn, he gains time on Jason Warren.
Yeah, his car's definitely good on the long haul.
Oh, almost Warren. I think Warren's car is tight. As Sexton maybe gets a little tight too. But it looked like Jason Warren got really tight on the exit of turn 4. But it looks like maybe he's corrected it.
And don't look now, but Sexton is pretty much there now. It's not going to be long before he's right on that bumper, but there's not long left, so he's got to make that move quick.
Yeah, he just gains all throughout the turn. Maybe loses a tiny, tiny bit on exit, but not enough to halt him from catching Jason Warren.
Yep, Sexton has moved it to 7.8 seconds behind the leader, so he is definitely even faster than the leader right at the moment.
Let's take a look in the back of Jason Warren's car just to see how much gain. And oh, here goes Joshua Sexton in the 51 machine. He is close, and he is close enough to bump if he wants to, but I think we'll try to see him make a clean pass before he tries to bump.
Yeah, I know in the modifieds, you could not hardly touch somebody and they were spinning. So I don't know if the late models are going to be the same way that way, or if they're a little bit more giving, or where you can do a bump and run.
Yeah, now we've seen Joshua Sexton get to him, and I think Jason Warren got tight, or he's going to give it to him. We'll see how it goes here in 3 and 4. You got to imagine Jason Warren's going to battle as much as he can to hold that second spot, because the competitor in him does not want to lose that second spot.
No, I don't know if he's up there by his desire to be up there or not, because he's sure giving it a run for it up there. But there goes Sexton. He got by.
Yeah, Joshua Sexton wears him out with 7 laps to go, makes the pass. And, well, we talked about fuel. I think Rich Petrucco didn't have enough. I don't see any substantial damage on that car to cause him to pit for damages. So I think he's one of your didn't put enough fuel in, expecting at least a caution.
Yeah, and I mean, will they make it? 5 laps to go.
Donald Clark with 5 laps to go led every single lap, and I bet he didn't expect it to go this way. I mean, he probably expected to lead a lot of laps, but not a lot of green flag laps like this. No. Absolute domination, almost 9 seconds ahead of Joshua Sexton.
Well, Magic Mike is watching. He's giving a shout out to Josh the Jet Oswald.
Oswald sitting strong in 8th, as he has been really all race, so maybe not strong enough to be inside that top 5, but definitely a consistent enough car to stay inside the top 10.
Yeah, Sexton and Warren both lost a lot of time when they were racing with each other there for a while. They're both, well, Sexton's now 8.5 seconds behind. He really wasn't going to catch him anyway with the kind of space between.
We are down to 2 laps to go, and the next time around, the white flag. Hopefully Donald Clark can get it. The white flag is going to fly every single lap tonight, going to be run under green. 1 lap to go here at South Boston Speedway. Donald Clark, your champion in this series. He's going to make it 8 wins as he comes out of turn 4. That 18 machine looked strong all season and is strong tonight, and he wins here at South Boston Speedway in the Thunderstruck Championship 125.
Boy, these guys are going to get some good sleep tonight, because man, even running 20 laps gets you tired, and running the whole race. Oh my gosh.
Man. Wow. Well, before we do, interviews and stuff, just whoever's watching this back, if you raced here tonight, big shout out to you, whoever you are, first to last, it doesn't matter. You put on a 125 green flag lap race. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, the farthest down anybody went was 4 laps. So, and those guys might have had to get gas there at the very end.
What a race from Donald Clark, though. Absolute. Like when you say the word domination, that is a perfect picture of it, or a perfect race to kind of fit that mold of domination. Is Donald Clark, who led every single lap, and for a while Jason Warren was able to keep up with him, but with how many green flag laps we had, Donald Clark showed just how good he is, and he pulled away from everyone, including second place.
I think everybody in the competition is going to want him to just use the iRacing setup next season.
Man, he still might be dangerous with that. Who knows?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. He's going to be hard to beat even with that.
Oh, man.
You could probably stick him in that and still run around everywhere.
Well, with him being our champion, we're actually going to interview him last, because you say least but last. I mean, we got to get the champions. The champions got to give the last interview of the season, because you got to round it out with the best driver, in my opinion. I mean, obviously with NASCAR and stuff, you'll see them do their burnouts and immediately interview them, but I think champion should get the last words of the season. And, well, our champion won the race, so we only have to interview 2 people before we get to him.
Ain't that right?
Hey, Jason, it's Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, I mean, fantastic race. I shouted everybody out, but I'll give you guys specific shout outs. You ran second that entire race until unfortunately Sexton caught you there in the end. But fantastic race. Congrats on the third place finish. Take us through. Take us through that race, I guess. Since there were no cautions, we kind of know a little bit of how it went.
It was a great race overall. No cautions. Can't beat that. I lowered the track bar quite a bit, thinking because there'd be plenty of short runs to tighten the car up, so I have good short run speed. And then, of course, there's no cautions. And then around lap 60-ish, my car just got unbelievably tight. I don't think I've ever driven a tighter race car than that. And then the free fall happened very very quickly.
Well, your free fall still gets you third place, so I mean it's not terrible, but yeah, I can understand that, Jason. Hey, did you push up? Is that how Josh got underneath you towards the end, or were you just kind of moving out of the way a little bit to give him some room?
I actually didn't even know he was there until he was there, because at the beginning of the race, I built up a pretty significant gap over him, and then my car got so tight. I guess his car stayed the same, and then he caught me, and I look up, and he's like, he's literally right there. And then I started overdriving, and then he got underneath me, and I was like, well, at least we'll get to do a little bit of racing here. So I try to make it at least a little bit interesting.
Well, that was some great racing, Jason. I mean, if you kind of were running with Donald there for a while, but like you said, around lap 60, it just seemed to kind of fall back, and so now we kind of know what happened with that with the track bar. Do you have any shout outs tonight for your sponsors or anybody that helped you?
Yeah, I think Zero Nine Race Shop, DP Daniel Pope. He does our setups. He does an absolutely wonderful job. Thank Donald. He actually helped me quite a bit or he actually helped quite a bit, yeah, getting set up for tonight. Thank Magic Mike. He's not feeling too well these days. Hope he gets up and running better. Plan on winning Saturday and dedicating that race to him. Full Send, Elliot Longenecker, Josh Oswald, Michael Swink, all those guys. You guys for in the broadcast. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, don't count on Saturday, but congratulations for your third place tonight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great season. Looking forward to. I know that you weren't able to race in as many races as you wanted to this season, but still a great season overall.
I'll be racing every race next season, so we'll make it interesting for King Donald.
Hey, looking forward to it. Great race.
Sure.
Have a good night, Jason.
All right. Move on to Joshua Sexton, who didn't win the race, but we have a lot to talk about with him. That car was absolutely outside of Donald Clark, absolutely the most dominant car on track on that super long run.
Yeah, I couldn't let Jason go without. I'm going to be in that race too. So,
Hey, Josh, it is Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Hey, man. Well, I just talked about it outside of Donald Clark because obviously he had a fantastic car tonight, but obviously not here to talk about him. We're talking about you. You had the most dominant car on that maybe second half of that run out of anybody on track. And it showed. You were able to battle from, I think you fell back to fifth, and you battled your way all the way back to second. So just take us through how your car felt.
Yeah, the car was perfect. Me and Tyler worked a lot on the set this week and got it dialed in. I basically the car was great early, and then about halfway through the race, my right eye started watering really bad, and it was really messing me up. And I kind of like overdrove it a little bit, almost spun out, lost 2 spots, and I lost a lot of time there. And the car was so good late that I was able to get those guys back, but I had to put myself in such a hole. If I hadn't made that mistake, I think I could have been closer, but obviously he was still pretty good ways ahead. I think the long run, it was immaculate. I mean, you could see it there, especially in that last 30, 40 laps. I mean, the car just, it was perfect. Tire wear was great, and that's exactly what we were going for, so we got it.
yeah, I was watching that. You had actually made up 2 seconds on the leader during that last 40 laps of the race. You lost a second of it when you were going by Jason Warren, but that was pretty incredible. It's too bad about what happened with your eye. It would have been neat to see if you could have got up there to Donald Clark. Was there any way that you thought that you might have been able to get up there? I know you won last year, so that was one of those things that I was thinking you could get there, but it just got so late in the race that did you? If you would have been a little bit closer, you think you could have been able to catch him?
I mean, you never know, kind of like how he was saving. Once you get up that far ahead, he could have been saving a lot, and I'm sure he was. But I think we had a really good car to compete with him. Again, I mean, I'm happy that, especially over these last few races of the year, we've been able to keep up with these guys like Donald Clark. We've got honed in on our setups, getting better and better, and we've got a really good understanding of the car. So, we didn't get the win, but I'm still very happy with how the car reacted and the setup went, and got to try to knock out those mistakes that making during the race. Donald, obviously, he drove 125 perfect laps, so that's what it's going to take in order to get the win, and that's what we got to work for next season.
Well, you did have a fantastic run. Congratulations on the second place finish. Do you have any shout outs for us tonight?
Yeah, again, thanks my Five King Motorsports teammates. Me and Tyler, we quite a few of us, we worked really, really hard on this setup, and it shows how good it was, especially late in the race. I'd like to thank my sponsors for great service all year. MF Racing Designs on Facebook. Make sure to give them a like. They do a great paint schemes. As you see, the silver bullet on my car, beautiful car. The butt kicker and Maconi Setup Shop. They do some really great setups, and that's where the basis of my setup has come from. So there's no secret out there. If you want to get a setup that lasts and runs really good, then get it from Maconi Setup Shop. That's where I got ours from.
Well, congrats on the second place here tonight, and you got second place in the points as well. So, great season to you, and look forward to seeing you out there next season. Great race.
Thank you, guys. Good job this year. You guys do an awesome job.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and last but not least, Donald Clark. Let's get him in here. All right, Mr. Donald Clark. It's Zach and Jeff in the booth. You got a copy?
I'm with you, yes.
Well, 8 wins. That I guess that could just sum it up for you this season. Just great season. And even when you weren't, even I think the couple races that you raced in that you didn't win, you finished probably second your worst. So first of all, fantastic season. Great job on the championship. Take us through your race tonight.
And first of all, it's just thank y'all so much for what y'all do, and it's just a testament to this team that we run the way we do, man. We got guys that make you step your game up each and every week, and they put hours in these cars. It's just phenomenal job those guys do. But tonight had a super good car. Was really good there early on, and late in the race, once I was able to get away from Jason a good bit, I was able to save the car in case we had a late race restart there. So I still had a little bit of tire left on the car. The car was just super good. It was flawless. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah, you had a dominating performance tonight as well as for the whole season. Congratulations on the championship, man. That was something to see. I'm pretty sure the other drivers are all voting for the first 3 races of next season. You're going to use the iRacing setup, just flat out that. And I bet you'll still get up there, huh?
I don't know about that. I mean, these cars are just really good. Like I said, we put a lot of hours in these cars, so it's just a testament to my whole team.
Yeah, congratulations, man. It was a great race, great season. You have shout outs for all of them?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Josh Sexton. Man, he showed a lot of speed here these last few weeks. He has really stepped his game up. I don't know what those guys over there are doing, but they have really improved on their program. So to him, I mean, he ran a good race tonight. I know he started kind of deep in the field, but ended up second. So I mean, he showed a lot of speed tonight. Then all my team, the 09 Race Shop, the program, um, all those guys over there, like I said, they do a tremendous job. Jason, he got me pointing in the right direction tonight. I think he made an adjustment on his car before the race there that tightened him up too much. If it wouldn't been for that, he would have been right there with me. But crew chief Daniel Pope, he does a lot of work on these cars, and he tremendous guy, and can't thank him enough for all he does. All my support, my girls out there watching. I know Shaylin Bell and Cheyenne are watching. Can't thank my wife enough for giving me the opportunity to do what I love here, to chase this dream. Thank her for putting up with what I do here. Grandma, I know you're out there watching. Just all my support group. Thank each and every one of y'all.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about your consistency throughout the season. I think that was the second most consistent thing of the season for the Clark family was your support group. I think we've seen them in that Facebook chat all 12 races. So, I'll give a shout out to them too. They show up every single week and not only watch but comment all the time, rooting you on. So, again, big congratulations to you. The championship, the race win here tonight, 8 wins. And, man, looking forward to seeing you out there next season and seeing if you can't get another 8.
Yes, thank you. And I think thanks to all the admins that put this deal on. They do a tremendous job in this league. Super fun league to run. It's very competitive. The competition definitely stepped up, towards the end of the year. And y'all guys, Rebel Racing Network, man, y'all do a tremendous job doing y'all streams, and can't thank y'all enough too.
Well, I appreciate it. I imagine Jeff does too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, once again, congrats on the championship and a great race tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
You have a great one, Donald. Look forward to seeing you next year.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was once again your champion, ladies and gentlemen. The average finish of 5th, and I think that's only due to him. He had to drop out of some races, I believe, very early on, so I think that's the only reason he had an average finish of 5th. But 8 wins.
Yeah, I think he had some previous obligations for a couple of them.
Yeah, he had, I believe, a different league he had to race in, which we totally understand. If it's a bigger league and a bigger shot for your name to get out there, absolutely take it. So, yeah, let's pull up your results, and we'll do the final wrap-up of the season, and I'll send it to you.
Cool.
So go ahead and give us your final thoughts on tonight's race.
Oh, well, I thought you were
season.
going to bring that up first. So,
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, if you would have put a bet down, I would have been betting we'd have had multiple cautions. I would have lost that. These guys did a fantastic job tonight. It puts a real stamp on the way that this season was. These guys are all great drivers. They're fun to be able to watch. And I think this was the fastest race I've ever seen on these late models for 125 laps. It was something to see. Congratulations to Donald Clark on his championship and Joshua Sexton coming in second. And of course, if Jason Warren comes back next year, he'll be fighting for that championship right alongside the rest of them.
Yeah, congrats to everybody on a great season and our top 3 in points. I'll give a quick shout out to them: Donald Clark, Joshua Sexton, and Josh Oswald got the 3rd spot of the points. So great race, great season by everybody, and what a way to wrap the season up than to run a completely perfect race. And I think the only race on the season that went under an hour. Yeah, I think we've said all we can about this fantastic race. Once again, if any of you are watching it back that raced, fantastic job tonight. And I'm really looking forward to seeing these cars out there for Season 3 of the Thunderstruck Super Series. So
that'll be something.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. So it's been Zach Wetstein and Jeff Paisley in the booth for the final time this season from Rebels Racing Network. Have a good night.
Good night, all.